Hi, I thought today I would talk a little bit about ways to cope with the loss of a loved one or even a pet or, just loss in general. But my particular instances have to do with the loss of a loved one. I have lost several people in my life. And it started back in 2002. I lost my sister, my only sibling, to cancer. She was 51 years old. She was my older sister. And then in 2004, my ex-husband and the father of three of my boys passed away. He was 2 months shy of his 50th birthday. And then in 2005, my oldest son died on a motorcycle. He was 2 months shy of his 25th birthday. 2007, my mother passed away. She was 84. And then in 2019, my late husband passed away. He was 63. So, or no, yeah, he was just had just turned 63. So, I've dealt with a lot of loss, and so I thought maybe I could share some advice or just some ideas of how to cope with loss because it's difficult no matter who you've lost or what you've lost. Um, Number one, allow yourself to grieve. It's okay to grieve. And I feel like sometimes society pressures us to hurry up and get over it, come on, move on. And everybody grieves differently. And even with all the people that I've lost, each one I've grieved in a different way because it really depends on your relationship with these people and how, what where you were at. And I guess, I don't know. That's just kind of how I perceive it. My When my sister died, she was the first one that I had to deal with. I lost a grandma years ago, but that was a little bit different. These are just in the last, 20 years. Um, anyway, when I lost my sister, she was my older sister, like I said, and I had pretty much lived in her shadow my whole life. So what I found was I was walking with one of her friends. We were walking through her property. My sister was a equestrian, and I was looking at her horse, and I was just talking. I was giddy. I was giddy, and it was like, what is going on? I didn't understand. I kind of felt guilty because it's like, why am I? I'm sad that she's gone, but I was kind of happy. It was weird. I didn't get it. It took me a few years to realize that I was out from under this her thumb or her shadow. I was me finally. I was just being me. So that's I was grieving her, but I was having these weird emotions that I didn't understand. So it took me a while to figure it out, and I don't feel guilty about that now. I mean, I still love her and I still think of her every single day. But so that's how I grieved her. But then when my son died, I didn't know I could cry as much as I cried when my son died. I mean, it was totally unexpected, of course. And I would go to bed crying and I'd wake up and I think, oh God, you wake up for an instant and you're thinking, oh, it was a dream. And it's like, no, that really happened. And so I would just cry and cry and cry for several days. And finally, I I just thought, I can't keep doing this. I have other kids. I had three other boys that I had to raise. So that's how I grieved him. And then my mom, I was ready for her to go. She had been sick, so I was mentally prepared for her. So there wasn't a lot of we weren't super close. So there wasn't a whole lot of grieving. I was sad, of course, but I wasn't as emotionally drained as I was when my son died. And of course, my ex-husband, we were exes, he was we hadn't had a great marriage, but he was the father of my kids, and I had to tell my kids that their dad died. So there was that part of grieving. And then my recent husband, of course, I was grieving our lifestyle, I was grieving him, and it everybody affected me differently. So honor whatever you're feeling. It's okay. And realize that everyone grieves differently. And sometimes it may not hit you for a year. You never know. So be okay with that. But I advise you not to wallow in it forever. Don't have a pity party, because that the thing that I realized when people die, I think the thing that makes it the hardest is there is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to change it. It is final. You can't fix it. It's going to be that. So you have to accept it. At some point, of course you're going to grieve, but you have to accept that this is the new reality. And so if you wallow in self-pity, it's going to change you, but you can't change it. So don't let it change you. Use that to change how you live your life. Use it as an inspiration, which is what I did. When my sister died, I vowed I was not going to live with regrets. Now, I still have some here, but I really tried hard to try new things, do things. I started singing publicly. I started doing all kinds of things that I had never done before, because I thought I'm not going to let fear keep me from trying new things. And my philosophy is that my person that is gone can't live, so I can't, so I will. I can live because they can't, So you have to find a way to make it work for you. The second thing is get involved with something. Don't just sit around and feel sorry for yourself. Do that for a little bit till you can get yourself together, but do your best to get out and be around other people, get involved. I got involved in theater. I was actually, when my son died, I was involved in a play. I had a part in a play, and the director told me, you don't have to, we'll find somebody else. And I said, no, I need to do this. And so I went down and we had a service and all that. Then I came home. He was in Texas. He had been in the Army. I came home and I did the play. And then I did another one this was in November. I did another one in January. I did another one in June. And then I did another one the next November. I mean, I just, boom, boom, boom. I just stayed busy. And that really got me through it. Kept me involved, kept me thinking about something else. It gave me a chance to be around people and not just sit there and wallow in it. So I encourage you to get involved. And another thing that people told me, like a third thing, would be do something for other people. Reach out to other people, volunteer, do something for somebody else. It really, really helps to just get out of yourself and try to stay active. Don't just sit around and feel sorry for yourself, because that's not going to do you any good. It's hard. It's hard. You just have to summon up the courage and just go and do it. And then the other thing is talk about it. It's okay to talk about it. One of the things that I found when my son died particularly was people didn't know what to say. And, I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to talk about him. He's my son. I wanted to keep him alive. I wanted people to know who he was. And I needed to talk about it initially. But I found that people didn't know what to say. And so you can encourage people to say, I really need to talk about that. Are you okay with that? Encourage people to talk. Tell them you need to share. You want people to know who he was because it really matters to you. But you need to let them know, because people would say, well, I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to make you feel bad. And I'm thinking, I already feel bad. You're not going to make me feel any worse than I already feel. And sometimes it's good to have somebody just cry with, because you just need to let that stuff out. Don't hold that in. Let it out if it needs to come out, but don't wallow in it. So those are some of the things that I've learned about losing people. It's a tough thing, but be a survivor. You're the survivor. You get to keep going. So keep going and live your life in their honor. I guess that's all. Just don't let it define you. Just know you're going to be okay. One of the things I did, in terms of the do for others, I got the newspaper. I get a newspaper, that covers quite a large territory, and I would read the obituaries, not just for that. I always read the obituaries, And I would see somebody who had lost a child. And so if there was an address or, a place to donate something, I would send them a letter and say, I found that people often don't want to talk about it when you lose your child. They don't know what to say and it's uncomfortable. And you don't want to be the wet blanket bringing it up all the time. So you kind of just sit there and hold it in. So I offered, if you need somebody to just talk to about your loss, I'm here. Just talk to me. I won't judge you. I will just let you talk. And so think about those kind of things. And I hope that if you're dealing with loss, that you will find some nugget in here that will help you, because it's a rough road, but you can do it. You can survive. You will survive, and you will be better for it. Just live in their honor. Okay, I really appreciate you listening. And if you feel like it, like and subscribe and come back for more information. All right, have a great day. Thanks.